Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. Welcome. So glad that you guys are on the video today. We're going to go over the 7 things that you're looking for that may be telling you you've got leaky gut. And so these are the top signs and symptoms that we look for when we're talking to people about their gut lining and what we call leaky gut. So welcome. We're going to get in depth into this. If you guys have not already liked or followed our page, go ahead and hit that button. There's another little one up in the corner that will tell you when we go live. And it'll let you know, and you can jump on. We go live many times a week. Lots of good information for you. Check out our YouTube channel as well. Over 400 videos on there, all types of different topics. You can search those a lot easier on there. So when we start thinking about leaky gut sounds like this new age term. You know, is the gut actually leaking? Are we leaking in? Are we leaking out? What's actually happening there? So let's get into the whys of what is going on in that leaky gut, and then the signs and symptoms that you're going to be looking for to determine whether you might have those, and then some things that you can do to help as well. So leaky gut, we are talking about the small intestine. So we have the large intestine and the small intestine. It really tells us about the diameter of that, because the small intestine is a whole lot longer than the large intestine. Hey Lisa, good to see you out there. Go ahead and pop down below where you guys are watching from. Carol, good to see you as well. We get people all over the country. Patricia down there in South Texas, all over the world, people in the Philippines and Europe, all over. So go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. If you've got any questions at all, pop those down below as well. Hey, Teresa, good to see you in Nebraska. So large intestine goes up, over, and down, and it's not very long, but it's big around. Small intestine wiggles all around through that digestive tract. It's smaller in diameter, but a whole lot longer. So that small intestine is where we're absorbing and utilizing our nutrients. Hey, Nancy, good to see you up there in Steamboat. So we're bringing the food, bringing the nutrients into the system, into the bloodstream through that small intestine lining. So what we talk about with leaky gut means that there's going to be damage to that gut lining, and we're going to be absorbing things too early into that digestive tract. Hey, Deborah, good to see you up there in Montana. So what we're looking at is that small intestine lining. Things are coming into the bloodstream too early. So a molecule that's this big, instead of being this big, will get into the bloodstream and create a bigger reaction. It can create inflammation. It can cause all types of different issues in the body. This is something that we've known about for years and years and years. As long as I've been doing functional medicine, even before they called it functional medicine, we have been working on people's digestive lining, specifically that small intestine lining there. This can get damaged from many things. It can get damaged from NSAIDs, so ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, aspirin. Every time you take an aspirin, you lose 1 cc of blood, quite a bit. Hey, Alexander down there in the Navajo Nation, good to see you. So you're losing blood. It's damaging that lining as you take those meds. Anytime somebody has a antibiotic that they take, they're going to damage that gut lining. If somebody's under chronic stress, anybody believe in stress out there? Give me a thumbs up if you've been a little bit stressed over this last year. So, what we look at, hey, Virginia in Kansas, good to see you. What we look at is all these different things, chronic stress, antibiotics, all these different issues are going to be damaging that gut lining. There's some thumbs out there. Unfortunately, we've had a little bit of stress over this last year. So we know that damages the gut lining. So here's the signs and symptoms of potential leaky gut, and if any of you have it, and what you can do. So food sensitivities are the first places. Hi, Lisa. Food sensitivities are the first place that we look at when we're talking about potential signs and symptoms. This is one of the reasons we don't run a food allergy test on day 1, because so many people come back and they have spinach and lettuce and cod and all of these different foods that aren't truly food allergens, but the body is reacting to so many different things. We'll see 30, 40 foods come back on their food allergy, food sensitivity test, but they're not true allergens. So if you are getting sensitive and more sensitive and more sensitive and more sensitive to foods and have to keep taking stuff out, that's not just that you're sensitive to foods, it means that you are having gut lining issues and you need to repair that leaky gut. Any type of irritable bowel syndrome or irritable bowel disease is going to be another sign and symptom of leaky gut. So if you're having chronic diarrhea, constipation, anything like that, very good chance that your gut lining is not working like it's supposed to. Here's another big one that we look at, autoimmune diseases. If somebody comes in with an autoimmune, 99% of the time we've got to work on their gut lining. We've got to repair and rebuild that small intestine lining and give it everything we've got, because when you've got that barrier system intact, things are working great. But when it's kind of scattered, broken, you've got these gaps in there, you're getting bigger molecules into that bloodstream. And I always like this one. If you come with a BB gun, take care of those things. But instead, when you got leaky gut, you're coming with this bazooka and it's blowing everything up. So you're revving up that immune response way more intense than it should be, because it's already this too large of a molecule, and that immune system is going haywire. It's going to start attacking joints, thyroid, all types of different things. So that next one, if you have a thyroid disorder, number one, you've got to get tested for Hashimoto's. So you have to run your TPO and your TG antibodies. That's going to tell you whether you have Hashimoto's. About 80% of women that have low thyroid actually have Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, just like the last thing we were talking about. So if you've got thyroid, you odds are have Hashimoto's, odds are have leaky gut. You've got to go through that. Hey Maggie, good to see you there in Nebraska. Great to have you on the video. So if you've got a thyroid issue, got to check out the Hashimoto's. Very good chance that you've got leaky gut going on. Skin issues, so any time of breakouts, eczema in the creases or arms or scaly hands, we've seen lots and lots of different things that are going to be telling us whether somebody has a leaky gut or not. It's coming from the intestinal lining. Hey George, yes, we are live right now. Good to have you on. So if you have skin issues, acne, if your kid has acne, one of two things, it's either hormones or it's leaky gut. So if the hormones are doing good, then you've got to go down that path of fixing the leaky gut. So skin, huge part of it. We've helped people heal up their eczema, psoriasis, all types of different skin issues if you can get that leaky gut working. Number 6 is going to be mood issues. If you're having high moods, low moods, anxiety, depression, all these different things, and you're bouncing up and down and all around, leaky gut can cause inflammation in the brain, can stimulate a lot of mood issues as well. So if your mood's not where you want it to be, check out your gut. There's a huge gut-brain connection. We've got to get that stabilized. Even that microbiome can be out of balance. And then the last one, probably not you watching, but maybe a loved one or someone that you know, is autism. Autism is rampant in this country now. 1 in 25 boys born today have autism. In the United Kingdom, in Ireland, they're up to 1 in 12 or 13 boys being born every day is autistic. So we know that autism has a direct correlation with that gut lining. Hey George, if you have autoimmune, you treat adrenals first, then adding the vitamin D. So if somebody has autoimmune, number one that I look at is stabilizing the blood sugar, because every time the blood sugar spikes up or crashes down, you're going to rev up that immune response and you're going to destroy more tissue. Yeah, Lisa, it's amazing. 1 in 25 boys. And that the way that it's progressing right now, we'll be at that 1 in 12 boys born in this country within the next 10 to 15 years. I mean, think about that. It's just a crazy concept when you start thinking about that, in that these boys, they're not going to be able to go out into society and produce and give back to all of those things. But it's also going to be that money, those resources, the strain on the families, all those things. It's going to be massive, the strain that's going to happen. Even now, 1 in 25, let alone when it gets down to that 1 in 12 kids. and it's pretty amazing. Amber asked, what if you have no thyroid? First of all, Amber, you have to figure out why you don't have a thyroid. And if it went too high, it went haywire, that was probably autoimmune. So you never really fixed it. You just took out the thyroid. You've got to get to that underlying why. So that's a big part of it. Lisa, on autism, vaccines, GMOs, there's so many different things. It's if mom has autoimmune during pregnancy, that can cause things to go haywire in that kiddo. It can be brain imbalances, lots of different things. First place we look at though is leaky gut with those kids, with autistic kids, and we've got to get that gut healing there. So Kendra, what are your suggestions in healing leaky gut? I always go back, we've talked about this for years, the 4 R's. So we've got to remove any bad things, and so whether that's food allergies, you've got to take those out. Any type of pathogens, you've got to kill off any bad things through there. So you've got to get the bad things out. You've got to replace any type of enzymes or stomach acid. Those 2 things are going to help break down and digest a whole lot better. You've got to repair. Number 3 is repair that gut lining. So glutamine. Hey Sherry, you got Hashi's, you've got to check out that leaky gut. Repair glutamine, marshmallow root, aloe vera, doing things like the autoimmune paleo type diet where you take out all the potential allergens, anything that's going to rev that up. You've got to get those out. And then number 4, re-inoculate. So after you've killed off the bad stuff, then you got to bring in the good stuff. So that's when you bring in the probiotics, kimchi, kombucha, all those different good things. All the way, you've got to knock down the bad stuff first and then bring in the good stuff. So remember the 4 R's when you're working on your leaky gut. If you've looked at a lot of different things and can't get it figured out, if you still have autoimmune, if like Amber that had Graves and can't get that done, then go ahead and give us a call. That's where we specialize in working with these complex cases, working with people with autoimmune, with gut issues, and we can take you by the hand through that process. So if you need help, we're here for you. Abby, what about people that can't tolerate probiotics? Again, I would work on that kill off first and then come in with the probiotics. It's probably just out of balance there. No probiotic until no leaky gut. No, you can. It may take months for that leaky gut to get better. So, but for most people, you want to kill off first, Nancy, and then bring those probiotics in. So I got to jump. Great to have you guys on the video today. If you've got any other questions, pop those down below. Even if you're watching this later, and we'll be answering those. We watch throughout the day, and we'll make sure we get with you guys. So if you need any support through this process, we're here for you. Stay strong out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.